Hello there. My name is Joker. Well, online is Joker. My name is Lane. I'm better known as Joker. I'm a classically trained musician. I'm by no means a music critic. And my favorite band is 21 Pilots. So, you might be wondering, why are you reviewing 21 Pilots music if they're your favorite band already? This is an idea I've had for a while. I haven't listened to their discography in its entirety in a long, long time. I want to say the last time I did might have been in 2021, right after Scaled and Icy released. So, I've decided I want to make this video series where I go through each of their albums with an open mind, try to not let my bias take over, and review each of the songs fairly. And then on Album of the Year, I can post my full thoughts. I've always thought that music critics always gave 21 Pilots a little bit of a hard time because one of their albums is according to them, way better than the rest. I never really understood that. Granted, I haven't listened to a lot of the music in a while. I've been more into other bands recently. If you want to click off the video now, one of my other favorite bands is AJR. But I think a lot of the criticisms people have with them are super fair. Anyhow, I think we should go ahead and start it before I ramble on for too much longer. This first album is called 21 Pilots. The fans know it as self-titled. It's generally considered to be in the latter half of their best albums. It's probably about number 4, number 5. But yeah, this album, it meant a lot to me when I first listened to it. I haven't listened to it in a long, long time. Not in its entirety, at least. I go back to songs every once in a while. Of course, as you would with any good album. But yeah, I know a few of these songs on piano, actually. So some of them I already know. A few of them I'm listening to again for the first time in a long time. But for now, let's just get into it. This first song is called Implicit Demand for Proof. So, one criticism I've heard a lot about self-titled is that Tyler Joseph really does not have a very good vocal performance in this album. And I agree. While the lyrics do mean a lot, and I feel like this album does get a little preachy at times because Tyler Joseph himself is a Christian, totally fine. I feel like this vocal performance is the worst of any of the albums, and if I were to rate the songs, or every album, just on the vocal performance of Tyler Joseph, this would be the last one. That being said, some of the songs I remember do have a very good vocal performance, but I do not remember Implicit Demand for Proof being one of them. So in the early years of 21 Pilots, whenever Tyler Joseph sang really lightly, it really just did not sound that good. When he raps lightly, it's pretty more decent because he's just talking at that point. But whenever he's trying to sing lightly during this album, it sounds really bad. Other than that, the instrumental so far in this song is absolutely phenomenal. That was Implicit Demand for Proof. So, Implicit Demand for Proof, I always thought was a really good song, even despite the vocal performance. The instrumental is absolutely phenomenal. Finishing it off how it started. I don't think the start goes on for too long at all. I think the strings that come in are beautiful. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I would give it maybe a 9, maybe a 9.5, had the vocal performance been there. But unfortunately, it just did not pull me that far in because the vocal performance is so terrible. Not to say he didn't know how to sing at this point, but he definitely got better after this album. I will also say that despite this being their first album, and I believe Tyler doing all the mixing and mastering, it does sound pretty good. Pretty damn good. Anyhow, that's it for Implicit Demand for Proof. On to Fall Away.
I don't wanna fall away. I don't wanna fall away. I disguise and I will lie and I will take my precious time as the days melt away as I stand in line and I die as I wait a pool begin. I feel my conscience wearing thin and my skin it will start to break up and fall apart.
I don't really remember liking Fall Away that much as of recently. I know I've listened to it more recently than the other songs on this album, and it did not impress me that much. The only real compliment I can give to this song, right now, at least, I don't know exactly what instrument that is. Sounds like synth, but they just picked a guitar type instrument on it. The dun 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 dun. That sounds really good, and it really fits on this song. The rapping, it's fine. He has better flow in songs than other albums. I think even in a song on this album, he has better flow. I remember the second verse being very good though.
Taking my vision, my crime is my sentence, repentance is taking commission, it's taking a toll on my soul, I'm screaming submission, and I don't know if I am dying or living, cause I will save face for name's sake, abuse grace, take aim to obtain a new name in a newer place, but my name is lame, I can't walk in a then, and my skin, it will start to break up and fall apart.
That was pretty good. In the first verse, he goes down where he goes, feel my conscience wearing thin, and my skin. And then in the second verse, he goes up an octave there. That is actually really good, and much better than what I remember. He sounds really passionate about what he's saying there. I don't really get the song, granted. I'm not a religious person. I think falling away is something that Christians experience. I'm not 100% sure. But that was a very good verse. I really liked it. That was Fall Away. I think the chorus is very bad. He's not only is he singing lightly, which as I explained already, he sounds terrible in this album when he's singing lightly, but it becomes so repetitive to the point where it sounds a little bit redundant. If he sang a little more, with a little more emphasis, instead of I don't wanna fall away. If he went, I don't wanna fall away, I think I would have liked it a lot more. I'll give this a 5.5. So I did not care for the first verse. It is really being held up by the second verse. The second verse is absolutely phenomenal. The pre-chorus is good in both verses. It's better than the second verse, or better in the second verse. Nothing really much else to say about this song. It gets a bit repetitive. I think the outro dwindles for a little too long. Anyway, next song, The Pantaloon.
Your grandpa died when you was the Pantaloon. Find a wife and build yourself a home. You have learned way too soon that your dad is now the Pantaloon.
So I ended up looking it up. And a pantaloon, I assume in what he's talking about in this song, a pantaloon is a Venetian character in Italian commedia, represented as a foolish old man wearing pantaloons. That doesn't really help me. I don't know exactly what he's talking about in this song. First verse is pretty good so far. Don't really remember much of this song, honestly. I never thought I'd need to learn the words to this one. I do think so far it is better than Fall Away though. So, how's that going for it?
I'm halfway through your face. He's seen too many stare downs between the sun and the moon in the morning air. How he used to hustle all the people walking through the fairgrounds. He's been around so long, he changed his meaning of a chair now. Because a chair now, either way, he can't deny he is a pantaloon. You are tired.
Ow.
You are
That instrumentation on the chorus, that is beautiful. It's just phenomenal how that sounds. That rap was also amazing. I think that was better than the second verse even in Fall Away. That verse had crazy flow in Fall Away, but this one, it just felt like he meant what he was saying more, and that's what really gets me for songs like these.
I'm halfway through your favorite shirt. No, 'cause your skin is so used to colder bones. It's warmer in the morning. Browns, they fertilize the ground you walk. So is your mind. You are tired. You are hurt. I'm halfway lose your mind.
That was the Pantaloon. So far, I think that the Pantaloon has the best vocal performance of any song, but I also think it has the worst drums of any song. You can really tell that Josh Dunn was not on the drums in this album. Because Josh Dunn, if you've heard later albums, he is an absolute monster on the percussion. Despite this, I'm still going to give the song an 8.5. Because there doesn't need to be good drums in this song. The instrumentation is already beautiful without it. If there weren't drums, I probably wouldn't notice. Vocal performance is actually the best of the album so far. Granted, we're only 3 songs in. Great song all around. I think so far the best song on the album. I like that a lot more than I remember liking it. Let's move on to Addict With A Pen.
Slow, I've been traveling in the deserts of my mind and of life.
There are some songs in this album, such as Addict With A Pen and Implicit Demand for Proof so far, where it's very simple, very easy things to do on piano, but they make it sound so beautiful and so full and kind of complex as well. I don't know what it is at all. This is a very simple melody. It's just G B G B G A G A G A G A G A G A. It's very simple. I don't know how they do it. The mastering, despite this being their first album, is very good. I don't know why. It doesn't have a reason to be this good. Vocal performance so far about the same as Implicit Demand for Proof. I don't like it very much. I do remember the verse of the song being a lot better than the start. So, let's see.
I haven't found a drop. I haven't found a drop of water.
That was good. That was really good. Okay.
I tried desperately to run through the sand as I hold the water in the palm of my hand. In fact, I'm only at it again as an addict with a pen who's addicted to the wind as it blows me back and forth, mindless, spineless, and pretend. Of course I'll be here again. You hear me screaming, Father, and I'm lying here just crying. So wash me with your water. Talked in quite some time of life. I haven't found a drop.
That was Addict With A Pen. So Addict With A Pen, I'm never really sure about. I think that the start and end are pretty weak. But I do think that the middle part is very, very strong. Especially that ending where he goes, and I'm lying here just crying, so wash me with your water. That is beautiful. Despite it being their first hit, it doesn't sound like a song that would be very popular. So I'm pretty glad that this is the one that got the most popularity on this album. At least among people who aren't in the clique. I'm going to give it a 7. I think the ending dwindles for a little too long. Just like Fall Away. I don't really care for... It's almost trickling sound effects. That goes on throughout the entire song. I don't really understand it. I don't really like it. Unlike Pantaloon, where I wouldn't really notice if the drums weren't there, I think this song would not be the same without the drums. And I think it's a very good drum performance. So, I'll give it a 7. Really only because of the verse in the middle. If it didn't have that, and it was about the same quality throughout the entire song, it'd probably be the worst on the album so far. It'd probably be a 4. Very strong 7 because of the verse. Next song is a song that has saved me from a deep time in my life. This song is called Friend Please.
Sounds of home where lions once was. You will hide from everyone, denying you need some.
I'm pausing it just before the first chorus because so far, even despite us being 5 songs in, this song already has the best vocal performance of any other song. You could tell he really has a lot of passion in what he's saying. This song is also the first of their what I call their Stay Alive songs. You'll see a few throughout the series, notably Lovely and Regional at Best, Truce and Vessel, and then there might even be one other. That boom, 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 boom after the first part of the verse. Not something you'd really notice upon a first listen. I don't think. Maybe you would. I don't know. But I think it sounds very good. One thing with this album I will say as well is that I really prefer live drums. And I think later on they do use drum kits in other albums. But as far as I remember, this whole album is only live drums, which I like. So, anyway, let's continue.
Friend, please remove your hands from over your eyes for me.
Wow. That, I don't know that synth in the background, but it's the... In the verses, it doesn't really matter to me, but in the chorus, it really shines. It goes into more complex chords, and because I believe the chords in the verse are just C and G repeated, but once it gets to the chorus, it is a lot more complex, and it sounds very good in the background, and especially as it changes into from into the like the wanna, it sounds just very, very cool. God. Okay, so that was Friend Please. So say what you will about 21 Pilots, they really know how to make a song explode in such a good way. The mastering there, I think, sounded very good. Drums were also pretty well done. Yeah, just overall a really good song, I think. That ending, he was singing lightly again, but it's the only time in the whole album where it actually sounds really good singing lightly. It really just makes a lot more sense to be singing lightly there anyway. I'm gonna give this song a 9.5. I'll have to listen to it a few more times. I don't remember liking it this much. I think I listened to it last year and I was like, meh, I mean, I used to really like this song, but it's alright now. But this song has probably re-entered my playlist just from this listen. It sounds just amazing. Let's move on to the next song, March to the Sea.
There's miles of land in front of us, and we're dying with every step we take anymore, cause you might get a raindrop in your eye, and heaven forbid they see you cry.
Wow, okay. Good drums. Yeah, so that very simple melody. Dun 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 dun. Very simple, not very catchy. I never really thought it was. That drum introduction though, does sound very good. I really like the drums in this song. Maybe I do like the drums in this album. I thought I didn't like it that much, but it doesn't compete with Josh Dunn at all. I guess I thought they were worse than they are. So, anyhow, let's continue. We still have 4 minutes of this song.
I ask myself the question why. I fall in line, then out of the corner, follow me instead. Follow me.
So I'm not exactly sure what they're talking about in this song. I think they're talking about God. Again, I'm not really big on preachy songs like this, but it could be interpreted as something else. I think the "Follow Me Instead" hook is very kind of catchy. I think it sounds very good, despite him singing it pretty lightly. I think it still sounds good compared to the rest of the song. Backing vocals could use a bit of work, but besides that, pretty decent so far.
Then the wages of war will start inside my hand. My eyes are focused on the end of land, but again the voice inside my head says, follow me instead. Follow me instead.
Wow.
Follow me instead. Follow me instead. Take me up, seal the door again. I will be in a march to the sea.
All right. That was March to the Sea. That final choir note really did not need to go on that long. That's not the biggest complaint I have with the song though. It goes on for a little too long. Good song. It's fine. That outro very strong. It really woke me up when he screamed "Follow me" instead. I yawned a couple times throughout that, but it really woke me up. It's fine. I'm having a hard time giving this a rating because I don't think it's as bad as Fall Away, but I don't really think it's as good as Addict With A Pen. I'm gonna give it a 6.8 out of 10. That's about how long it felt. Like it took away 6/8 of my entire day. So let's go ahead and continue. This one is called Johnny Boy. Honky tonk piano. I like honky tonk piano sound. Very whole sounding kick drum. I really like it.
He stays home from work this time. He never really told his wife. He never really told a lie. And this deserves a medal, but he's never really won a prize before. He's falling.
So the song's pretty good so far, but there's this weird noise filter over the honky-tonk piano in the background. I think it would sound a lot better and a lot more whole if there was no filter at all on it. If it was just a normal sounding piano. I don't remember liking this song that much actually. So this is a pleasant surprise. So let's continue. Okay, so I like the verses a lot more than I like the chorus, I think. At least that first verse is very good. Not to say that the chorus is bad. I still think it sounds pretty good. But yeah, this is a pleasant surprise. I don't remember liking this song that much.
Someone said, where you going? Someone said to you goodbye. They deflect the disrespect when we all know you're qualified to fix a chair and love your wife. They all know you're qualified, but they lie when they blame it on the time.
Weird synth going on in the background that I don't really like. A little womp 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 womp. I don't really care for it. Doesn't add to the song that much.
How we blame it on the time.
I can't really tell what they're doing with the piano here. I can't tell if it's a reversed piano or if they just took away the attack entirely. But it sounds pretty good. I do like that that nice sound. There's no filter over it. That's probably why I like it.
I will carry all. I will carry all your names, all your names, and I will carry all your shame. Get up, Johnny boy. Get up, Johnny boy.
So that was Johnny Boy. Nothing really caught my attention in that song except for the bridge. The bridge sounded very good actually, and was vocally the best part of that song. I don't really have a lot more to say about the song. Just a pretty good song all around. Verses were better than the chorus, I think. Second verse could have used some work, I think. But besides that, very, very good tribute to his father. I'm gonna give that an 8. Pretty good. I'm very surprised because I don't remember actually liking that song that much. Anyway, this next song is called Oh Misbeliever.
Oh, misbeliever, my pretty sleeper, I will tell you I love we go. We get colder as we grow.
So the good news with this song is that I used to dislike it massively, and now I think it sounds fine. The bad news is that nothing is really catching my attention here. I did only realize recently that when he's saying "oh misbeliever," he's not saying "miss" as in a person, as in a lady. He's saying misbeliever, the word M-I-S believer. I suppose he's talking to people who are atheists like myself. I don't know. Nothing's really catching my eye in this song. Or catching my ear, I suppose. This goes on for a little too long.
Oh, misbelieve we're in foreign lands as we travel through snow. We
That was Almost Believer. Yeah, it was fine. I think I did like that better than Fall Away. One thing I do notice with earlier 21 Pilots albums, unlike Clancy and Trench, where he's outright telling you what's happening, in earlier albums, he is making it so deep to the point where I don't really know what the song is about. Despite that, instrumental sounded pretty alright. I could have used without the tambourine, personally. I'll give it a 6. It's not bad. It's not great. Kind of the meh on the album. Anyway, this one is Aircatcher. So that explosion, I do think the mastering on this song does not sound as good as, say, a song like Friend Please. The drums especially sound very suppressed, and it could have been, I think, a lot more of an explosion than I think that maybe they thought it was. But we still have the entire song to go. Maybe it gets better. So let's see.
Fall slow like I used to. I fall straight down. My parachutes will guide me safely to ground. I won't fall in love with falling. I think you would be the morning pretty contest. Isn't much I lack, but you stolen my air catcher, and I don't know if I want it back. I will try to avoid those eyes, 'cause I'm not sure I want to. And I just don't say what you wanna hear. And I don't believe in talking just to breathe and fall. Now I'm here to give you words of heart.
That was Aircatcher. So Aircatcher does have a better version that was almost unregional at best. The alternate version, if you will. So the song is being entirely held up by its chorus. The chorus is absolutely amazing. The verses are alright, and the bridge is shit. Despite me saying that this is the worst vocal performance of any album, Tyler Joseph's voice really does not need autotune. There are 2 songs where he has obvious autotune, where it's turned up pretty much to the max, and notes are just being played behind his voice. And those 2 songs are Aircatcher on Self-Titled and Lovely on Regional at Best. The Aircatcher alternate version does not have that at all, and it sounds miles better. And it also does not have that weird boom, boom, clap, boom, boom, clap in the background of the bridge either. The drums also does not do any favors. Sounds very suppressed, especially in the exploding sections. If that was better, this would probably be, just because of the chorus, it would probably just be like an 8.5 song, 8.5. But I think it could have been better. I'm going to give this song a 7.7 because the chorus is very good, very catchy, but it left a little bit to be desired. Anyway, up next is what I believe to be probably the most overrated song on this album. That song is Trapdoor.
He wakes up early today, throws on a mask that will alter his fate on a grave. He pretends he's okay.
So say what you want about Tyler Joseph, despite him having just bad vocals all around on this album, from Self-Titled to Clancy, his falsetto is beautiful. You can tell he's trained a lot in choir, likely. His falsetto is just magnificent. I hope to have his falsetto one day. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Not bad so far.
I'm in
So there's these weird chimes in the background during the chorus that don't have an attack, and the release is way too long. Kind of sounds like it's clashing with the other notes when that happens. Don't really care for the chorus that much. So far, song's being held up by its verses. The first verse was pretty alright.
He thinks that faith might be dead. Nothing kills a man faster than his own hands. He pretends he's okay, but you should take me out and finish his waste of life. Everyone gather.
That was a cool pre-chorus. So Tyler Joseph is kind of known for his screams. He does them a lot. So from what I remember, he does some pretty good ones in Jumpsuit. There's a pretty good one in the live version of Shy Away. And there's also a pretty good one in Fake You Out. But that did not sound like a scream. That sounded like a baby fucking whining. He definitely improved his screaming over the years. That sounded very awkward to me.
Watch as this mound disappears as we know. Do me a favor and try, 'cause nobody knows he's alive.
You can fucking hear him breathe out at the end there. Anyway, that was Trapdoor. I didn't really care for the chorus. The bridge was pretty cool. Very good instrumental on the bridge. Drums, similar to Aircatcher, they seemed a little bit suppressed. They were a little better than Aircatcher, but besides that, about the same sound, give or take. Yeah, I still think it's a pretty overrated song. I don't think it's as good as some people in the clique say, but I don't think it's as bad as some people say either. Some people say it's the worst song on the album. I disagree. That being said, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Not bad. I'm kind of surprised. I expected it to be maybe a 5. I thought it might have been worse than Fall Away. I don't know. This song is called A Car, a Torch, a Death.
The air begins to feel a little thin as I start the car and then I begin.
So this song is like the reverse of Johnny Boy, where there's a weird filter over his voice and there's no filter over the piano. Again, the filter is kind of unnecessary. I think the song will probably be about the same rating as I'm probably going to give it anyway, because I remember this being one of my favorites, if not my favorite, on the album.
Glad the miles piled up behind me.
Actually, this might be the same filter that they use at the start of Friend Please.
To crack the door so I can just fall out. But that's for me to drive away with. I began to understand why God died.
So in the background, I assume that's meant to sound like a car alarm, but it just does not. I don't know exactly what they're trying to make it sound like, but it doesn't sound bad per se. It's not annoying, so I think it's fine. Okay, now that kind of sounds like a car alarm.
He crept in her room and stayed there for the night.
That was not me mouthing to the song, even though it looked like it. That was me yawning.
I began to understand why God died.
Okay, so there's still probably a fifth of the song left. That is the biggest complaint I have with this song, I think. It does go on for a little longer than it needs to, I think. I think if it ended right after this, that would be a great song. That might even be up there with Friend Please. It just goes on for a little longer than it needs to. Also, this vocally sounds great. I'd put this up there with Friend Please for great vocal performances on this album. That was A Car Tortured Death. So that song, I do believe, that song actually might have benefited from having a drum kit rather than live drums. Did the live drums still sound good? Yeah. I think they sounded better than they did on Trapdoor and Aircatcher. I think they were a little less suppressed than they were on those songs. So yeah, pretty good song. Chorus, amazing. Verses were all right. Pretty good actually, I'd say. It goes on for a little longer than it needs to, though. So actually, I'm going to give it a 9. That's a very strong 9 for A Car Tortured Death. It's not as good as Friend Please, I don't think. I don't think any of the songs here may be as good as Friend Please. I'm not exactly sure. Let's go ahead and continue. So this next one is called Taxi Cab.
A belfry hole inside my mind, and I want to. Sometimes we will die, and sometimes we will fly away. The way you're by my side until my dying days.
So far, this song, just like a few other ones, has a pretty bad vocals. But despite that, I actually think that it helps the song because it doesn't really need good vocals. I feel like if it was too clean, it wouldn't really bring out the meaning as much. You know, pretty good so far.
If I'm not there and don't be afraid. I said don't be a breathless piece of death I've made for you.
That was a really good high note. I've made for you. That was actually really good.
I'm mortal right on, but at least you heard. Sometimes we will die, and
Wow.
sometimes we will fly away.
Very good instrumentation on this part. That's really cool sounding.
You're by my side until my dying days. Don't be afraid. I said don't. So the hearse ran out of gas. A passenger person grabbed a map, and the driver inside it contrived a new route to save the past. And checked his watch and grabbed a cab.
Very good flow here. Much better than the other raps in the album, I think.
Once again, but now this time there were 3 men, and then I heard one of them say, I know the night will turn to gray. I up off the floor and found the breath I was searching for. That they were 3 men up front. All I saw were backs of heads, and then I asked they will be undone. I said, don't be afraid.
All right. That was Taxi Cab. Let's start with the good things. I really enjoyed that song. All around, great verses, great bridge, really good flow on the bridge. It didn't need to have good vocals because it was just melodically diverse enough to where I felt like good vocals weren't exactly necessary. That being said, I do think the mastering on this one did leave some to be desired. Despite the compliments I've given the mastering on this album so far, it being their first, this is about the mastering I expected on the other songs. Not exactly as good as the other songs in terms of mastering, but I do think it's better than the other songs in most other things. Once again, I don't think it's better than Friend Please, but I do think it is better than A Car Torture Death. So I'm going to give it a 9.2. Very, very good song. I actually really enjoyed that. All right, so this is the least played song according to YouTube Music on the album. This is Before You Start Your Day.
Open the slits in your face and start your day.
I do remember the song being very graphic in its depictions, in its lyrical depictions. Um, Very gross. I don't really think it's necessary to call it that. I think I know what he's trying to go for, but it sounds a little pretentious. You could have just called them eyes at that point, I think. Eyelids. Uh, but we still have the whole song good to go. So let's continue.
You don't have much time to make your slits look just right. I'm in your mind. I'm singing la da la da. And the mirror and ask yourself if you're alright. You're in my mind. I'm singing la da la da la da.
So nothing in this song has really stood out to me so far. I suppose the choruses are okay. It's just la da over and over. So far, what I can really tell about this song is the song's called Before You Start Your Day, so I never really looked into the song that much, but I assume it's talking about after maybe a night where you dealt with thoughts of hurting yourself, or maybe you did hurt yourself, you're trying to mask it. Hence, in the first verse, saying you don't have much time to make your slits look just right. And I think that's a pretty decent song meaning. If only the depictions, I wish they were a little less detailed, which isn't something I'd usually say, because I think to have detail in a song is good, especially in lyrics, because how else are you going to explain it? But it's detailed to the point where it sounds almost gross. That's just how it is. Oh. Okay, there was an ambience in the background there that genuinely made me uncomfortable. Made me feel very tingly and weird. Not in a good way. Almost like a deep wind. That's the best way I can explain it. I didn't like it. And also, I understand Tyler Joseph is a Christian. This song is the most preachy on the album so far. I don't know. Kind of seems like propaganda. Maybe it's for some people. It's for some people, not for others. So it's neither here nor there. But personally, I don't like how you're saying you're hurting yourself. You can still turn to God for help. So that's not what some people want to hear.
And in your mind, you're singing da, da, da.
Pretty much a 10-second silence to end the song. That was Before You Start Your Day. I did not care for that one at all, really. The mastering, that's the only song where I think the mastering I can probably call bad. Vocal performance, as always, pretty terrible. Other than songs like A Car Torture Death, Taxi Cab, and Friend Please. The only compliment I can give to that song is that the piano sounds pretty good. The strings kind of came out of nowhere in the second chorus. as well as there was this uncomfortable ambience in the bridge. But so before you start your day, worst song on the album so far, I'm gonna give that a 3. I just did not enjoy listening to that. Normally, the album, normally a 21 Pilots album would be done by now. We are 57 minutes into this hour and 2-minute long album. Usually the other albums are 45 minutes, maybe 50 if you're lucky. This one, an hour and 2, because the final song is the longest song on the album. It's called I Love Flightless Birds, and it is nearly 6 minutes. The only song that has beaten that so far is on Clancy. It is also the final song on there. It's called Paladin Straight. Granted, we still have this video and 5 others before we get to that. So, this is the final song on Self-Titled. It's called I Love Flightless Birds.
Now is the climax to the just to please them. I am cold, can you hear?
Instrumentation very good on this one. The harpsichord, the drums, and the synth in the background on this chorus is very very good actually.
You will know no failing, plumbing as I sing.
Very good vocal performance as well in this song.
All we are is an isle of flightless birds. We find our worth in giving birth and stuff. We're landing our homes against winding roads, and we think that going is things wrong and what's right. Believe me, you'll begin to wish you were sleeping. Your weeping will creep in your head and you'll cry. But if we wake up every morning and decide.
That was actually a pretty good rap. A good second verse. Very nice flow. That's what I had hoped for from Fall Away.
I am cold, can you hear? Wings plumbing as I sing, plumbing as I am cold, taunts my way, plumbing as I sing, plumbing as I. How frustrating and so degrading. It's time we're wasting, as time will fly by and the sky will cry as light is fade. Please don't be afraid of what your soul is really thinking. Your soul knows good and evil, your soul knows both sides. And it's time you pick your battle, and I promise you this is mine. I promise.
Alright, so that was I Love Flightless Birds actually. So I really think that the ending does dwindle for a little long, but besides that, that 5 minutes and 46 seconds blew by like it was nothing. That song was amazing. Best song on the album. And in terms of all closers for every 21 Pilots album, despite how the others are also very good closers and were designed to be closers, this song makes the most sense as a finale song for a record. Actually, no. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. We're gonna go ahead and give I Love Flightless Birds a 10 out of 10. Because I did say that even though it did dwindle just barely too long, it flew by like it was nothing. I barely even noticed the time went away. These are my final ratings of the album. That is Implicit Demand for Proof with an 8 out of 10. Fall Away with a 5.5. The Pantaloon with an 8.5. Addict With A Pen with a 7. Friend Please, 9.5. March to the Sea with a 6.8. Johnny Boy with an 8. Oh Misbeliever with a 6. Aircatcher, 7.7. Trapdoor, 7. A Car Tortured Death with a 9. Taxi Cab, 9.2. Before You Start Your Day with a 3. And I Love Flightless Birds with a 10. Very strong close. If Before You Start Your Day wasn't there, those 3 songs, A Car Tortured Death, Taxi Cab, and I Love Flightless Birds, that would be probably a perfect ending. Okay, so what are my thoughts on this album now? My thoughts haven't really changed. I knew it was a pretty decent album already. This is one of the only ones I don't own on vinyl, and I wish I did. I think this album would sound the best of all of them on vinyl. I think it was kind of made to be played on that kind of format, while the other ones were made for headphone use. I think this one would sound very good if played on a record player. But besides that, I'm going to go ahead and calculate my scores. And then I'll see what my final rating for the album will be, because I'm going to rate it based on all the scores I gave the songs. The average was probably brought down just because of Before You Start Your Day. So my final score of this album is a 7.5 out of 10. It's not amazing. I think there are some songs on it that are amazing. It's not their best album, not by far, but it's not their worst album, and we'll see that eventually. I think it is a very solid record, for sure, and I think that people who are wanting to go back and listen to old Pilots, they're not going to be disappointed, for sure. So, that is my review of Self-Titled, 21 Pilots by 21 Pilots. Somewhere on the screen here, there will be an annotation to subscribe to my channel, and if there's more videos like this, there will be a playlist. If you want to watch the one for Regional Best or Vessel whenever I get around to those. This has been very fun, and I hope to do this again. So I appreciate everyone watching to the end. You've really made my day. And sorry you've had to see me get progressively more tired. You could probably tell by the bags under my eyes throughout this recording. I've gone for 2 hours, which is double the length of the album. So I hope I provided some good commentary, and I hope I remember it's all opinions. Don't be fighting in the comments or replies over which song is better. If you disagree, then we disagree. Put what you think in the comments. If you have a complaint, maybe I rated a song unfairly, maybe you really like Before You Start Your Day, just let me know. I'd love to hear what everyone thinks. So yeah, thanks so much. I've been Joker Factor. Yeah. Catch you later.